there's a lot of us that are not sympathetic to the needs of the NDIS being sustainable. I would argue we are the most invested people in whether or not this scheme is sustainable, because it's here for our children and ourselves for the rest of our lives. I care about it more than any minister that's going to come into this job for 2 seconds. And Stuart Roberts is gone, and he's got another job, and he's got a promotion. But guess what? We're all still here, and they're our families, and they're our kids, and we're serious about it. So we can have conversations that are economic. We can have them that are really sensible about what these policies look like. Don't write us off as families who are just whingers who don't understand it and want more and more. It can't be a blank cheque, but we can be smart enough to make good policy that also takes care of the dignity and rights of individuals with disability.
Bill Bosell.
Nick, you are just spot on. Like Nicole, you are just spot on. We need to have sensible economic discussions around this. When it comes to independent assessments, I've had quite a bit to say to them. And I just want to say to all the families out there that have experienced them, heard about them, read about them, I am in your corner. They were absolutely appalling throughout the trial period. And that's been acknowledged by Minister Reynolds. She has only been in this role for a couple of months. Disability is an incredibly complex sector, and she's trying to get her head around it. The rollout of the independent assessments just seemed to be the agency trying to put a solution out there before they'd even articulated there was an issue. The idea of 400 personas, whoever came up with that little gem should become a persona non grata. I mean, absolutely not.
But Hollie, Linda is not here. Linda is not here tonight. I'm sorry, but the Australian government, the Australian population, if you don't have disability in your life, you probably don't spend a lot of time talking about it, right? We live with it. It's really important to us. The fact that Q&A want to have a conversation tonight where we get to come on and talk about the thing we care about most, the NDIS, we're really grateful for it. I would have liked to have seen the minister in charge of it sitting next to me having this discussion.
To be fair, we did invite Linda Reynolds on. We also...
You're here. Good on your whole. Bloody holes turned up.
We also invited Anne Ruston, who's the social services
Why aren't they here having this conversation?
You need to ask them for an explanation.
I'm asking, ladies. We're here. We're having the conversation. Hollie has been brave enough to turn up and speak the truth about what she understands about the NDIS, which is really going to make her probably a bit unpopular with her government tomorrow. I think it's okay for us to have the conversation. We can nut this out. We all want it to be successful. We can get there.
Hollie Hughes, why is the government being so hard-headed about this? It seems pretty clear that the independent assessments have not worked so far, will not work, are not popular, are not wanted.
No, and Linda has said they are not going ahead in their current format. She has absolutely said they are not going ahead in the current format. That's been recognised.
She has said they're part of the future of the NDIS. She said they are part of the future.
She's talking about functional assessments. And I think what we need to do here, we need to sort of divide it into the two conversations. Independent assessments, functional assessments, whatever you want to call them, we need to ensure that people are getting the supports they need that match their goals. At the moment, we go in and have conversations about people's deficits. And the reason I think we're seeing a decline in people's functionality in the NDIS is because we know if you go into your planning meeting and say, hey, we had a great year, they take money away from you. We need to start the conversation being in a completely different frame, saying my goal for the year is to go back into the workplace, is to go and study, is to participate in community activities and work out around the supports around them. Not have a look at, can you make a cup of tea or peel a piece of fruit and vegetable, because that has nothing to do, let alone the questions that were being asked, whether you needed assistance with regards to sexual activity. They're gone. But we can all stand here and scream, and Nick, you know, I know you understand this. We can all scream from the sideline. We can play politics. We can hit each other over the head with it. The reality is, Linda is committed to bringing people back to the table. She inherited this. She didn't design it. We need to be able to go back to the table and say, this didn't work. But the other part of it, Nicole, you're 100% correct. There's no one more focused on sustainability of this scheme than participants and their families. What we're not talking about, where are the service providers and the reviews? We're looking at them. We've got 3 tiers of management when you're a participant. You can be plan managed, agency managed, or there's this self-managed or agency managed, or there's this weird little plan management thing in the middle